love you. And though this may be the last time I get to say it, I don't regret anything.
Well, that was cute. Hey, it's and here's why and how I made a shitty video, and about 5 minutes of me rambling about it all. I had the idea for this
アニメーション
about the day I was dumped, which was, like a month, 3 days, and 4,023 seconds ago. And it's taken a long ass time making this video. Part of that was procrastination, I admit, but some of it was also the fact that I was working on other things. But the biggest hurdle was just the fact that it took me so many hours just to learn the basics of Blender to even get the skills necessary to make something as shitty as that. Where I talk about the making of the animation, animated as well, but it took me a month to fucking make that trash. And I'll be fucked if I'm going to animate this whole video in a few days. That brings me to this little shitty setup. This isn't a microphone. This is a Rode mic that I taped to a baseball bat that I broke for the video. And this is even a green screen. This is just a fucking bedsheet that I stapled to the wall up as a layer in Blender. Leave a like and subscribe so that I can afford an actual cool setup. Better yet, pay me money and I'll draw you weird shit. You want to see Peter Griffin get crucified by Hatsune Miku? Want to see your best friend or your favorite anime character pregnant? Yeah, go. B-Gen, I'm there. I'm gonna be railing on myself for a while, so I'll try to list out the positive stuffs and cool stuff I like from the video before I kind of devolve into this negative spiral of fucking hate. References. The low poly aesthetic is very much inspired by PlayStation games, namely Silent Hill, which I kind of based off the inventory screen. It's the background image for a lot of the scenes. Even my monologue when I was writing it, I thought about the ending letter in Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 2 has a very special place in my heart. I'm very excited for October for the remake. In terms of other video games, I had Banjo-Kazooie-esque dialogue, and this drinking scene is based off one in Max Payne. The music is from Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is my favorite movie of all time. It's also kind of thematically appropriate because that movie was the movie we saw when we first started dating. I bawled my eyes out in the theater. I'm not talking about like, a little tear sliding down my cheek. I'm talking full on ugly sobbing, crying. I had snot dripping down my nose. I'm surprised that she stayed with me for like 2 years after that. That was kind of fucked up. I didn't think we would last this long. As much as I love the soundtrack, this was not my first choice for music. There were actually a lot of music changes. Originally, I kind of envisioned this scene with the piano theme in JJK, the one that like Gojo has when he fucking blasts a hole into fucking Toji's body. After that, there was like a bunch of other music changes. I'll talk about why we went through so many changes later on in this video, but I had this song, I think it's Flatwood by the Hummingbirds, and then after that, it was this song, which I saw in an Instagram post about a suicide apology letter to someone's cat, and I thought that was very sad, and I thought the music was very sad and beautiful. But ultimately I didn't end up going with it, so fuck that cat, I guess. There's Death Consciousness in the corner, which is my favorite album of all time. And also this vinyl is Igor. The making of this video was hard for 2 reasons. For one, I just struggled with the video on a technical level. It took me a whole week just to make the fucking VTuber model, and it looks like fucking ass. I mean, look at this rig. There's no inverse kinematics. Look at my face texture. The bad in the video is very apparent. You can kind of feel where I lost all my motivation, and it was just me fucking bashing my head against the keyboard trying to get it done. So I won't grub on every gripe that I have with the animation because I don't need to. The bad's right there. You can see it for yourself. I just want to talk about like the biggest feelings I had while making this video, which was kind of like that feeling of ineptitude. Maybe it's just my age and upbringing, but like as an artist, something I kind of feel prevalent is shame. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm just projecting. I think a lot of artists kind of feel shame, and I think that stems from being an artist. You are talented in the fact that you can distinguish, the things that you find beautiful in the world. It's just that the shame kind of derives from the disparity of realizing your technical level isn't quite there yet.
There's a gap that for the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, but your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer, and your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? Past that phase, a lot of people at that point, they quit.
That shame can lead to paralysis. I know a lot of artists struggle with the fear of a blank page. I know I do. I have many drawings lying forgotten and dormant just because I felt like they weren't enough. The thing is, I'm tired of not making anything just because I know what I'm making isn't gonna be good. I just want to make things. I have a desire to create, and even if it's not gonna be relevant for anyone, it's for me. And you know what? I do actually want to get better, and the only way I can change that is by making lots of bad shit first.
Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sort of good at something.
This isn't an original thought. I've been told this many a times by my favorite artists, and I just want to say it here as a little reminder for myself and maybe anyone else who feels like listening. This is a shitty video, but I'm glad I made it. I got a lot of experience. I learned how to fucking model. I just how to animate canvas, make materials. Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff. All my fellow artists out there, guys, go make some shit. The other reason I wanted to drop the project was just that my idea is no longer reflected in the project itself. I've been thinking a lot about my relationship, about my ideas, love, how I view myself in the context of the people I love. And when I wrote this initial script, it was very raw and unfocused, and I kind of like that, but there's so much time between then and now that my own insecurities that were gnawing at me weren't just gnawing at my soul, but the essence of the art that I was making or that I wanted to make. Guys, I promise I want to keep this video short, so I'll fucking summarize the 4,000 word script that I wrote. But the main thing I want to do here is I want to talk about grief, and I want to fucking answer the question that I prompted in my own video. About 5-ish years ago, before this breakup, I was also here, similarly faced with the end of another long relationship, and at that time I was also making shit. I wrote a short story, a few poems. I made a little comic about the idea of grief being a pile of chains dragging you into a sinking ocean, because that's how I felt about my grief. The weight of all these memories were so unbearable and painful. It hurt me. It began distorting the image that I had of myself and even the person that I loved. I often had to physically stop to try and catch my breath sometimes. I felt like I was suffocating. Cut to a month ago, when I told my coworker the reason I was feeling so down, he told me to not think of her, to play video games, distract with friends, delete all my pictures of her, and that things will be better. And as much as I love this man and appreciate his well-meaning sentiment, shout out to you, Steven, I knew that this advice would not help me. I feel like this is like a very common response to a breakup. And I know it feels like taking control over your emotions by removing all the supposed sources of pain, but it's just a facade of security. What happens when your grandma asks you to bring your girlfriend over? What happens when you're going to the store and you see them again? Or see someone who vaguely looks like them? That grief just comes rushing all the way back in this unexpected way. These chains are a part of me. Can't get rid of them simply by throwing them away. Yes, I can completely weed out every aspect of her, but doing so is not healing. It's destructive. You can't uproot someone you love without also tearing into yourself. I sometimes open my door and hope to see her there in my bed, waiting to surprise me. I still see her sometimes in the outline of my laundry, left disheveled and unkempt. As her voice in my head scolds me to put it away, I can't help but feel like she's still here. When I walk into my room, I still see everything from when we shared the space together. Her bonnet still hangs in the same place. Her squishmallows are fucking right there. I have a picture of us still that hangs on the wall, watching me when I sit at my desk. And these items may diagnose that I'm not completely healed, but the symptoms don't uncover the root problem. So what do I do with these chains and this ocean threatening to drown me? I let the chains kill me. I let the chains pull me down as far as I need to go. I let the ocean swallow me whole. I don't push the memories away as they come rushing by. I relax my grip, because holding on so hard may distort the images I see, but worse yet, it'll hurt me in the process. There will eventually be a time where she comes to retrieve her Squishmallows and her bonnet, and I will clear up my desk to make more space for some new memories, and I'll look at all this love that I had for her and realize that it's still here. Eventually, I'll go to my bed, and the laundry will just be laundry, and I will think to myself, yes, I really should put that shit away, and I do. And afterwards, I will have realized that I'm no longer holding on to the chains that previously felt so impossibly unbearable, and the ocean around me will appear as just a puddle I stand over. But for now, this just all sucks. I'll get around to doing my laundry eventually.